Each year, when it's about the follow-up of the IGF, you will have someone like me who will tell you that the IGF was exceptional, important, critical, unique, and it was the case this time again, for many different reasons. So, as everywhere, there were two levels of conversation: the meta level, where we discuss about the IGF itself, continuation, the future of the information society. As you know, in a few weeks, 2 weeks from now, UN members will meet to discuss the WSIS plus 10, the post 2015, whatever. I'll come back on that in a few seconds. And then, of course, there were the hot issues on the internet itself, cybersecurity, network neutrality. Sabine just talked about that a few minutes ago. I will kill the suspense for those who want to see the movie. Don't listen to me, but this is almost certain that there will be a continuation of the IGF next year. This will be mostly about the substance, now the modus operandi. This is exactly what members, I believe, UN members will be discussing. So let me step back a little bit. Remember 10 years ago, 2005, Tunis, there was the launch of something fairly unique. In 2006 in Athens, when people met there for the first time, there was quite a suspicion in the room. People have no expectation of how things would happen, and then slowly but surely the trust has been built. And I can say that those days nobody would ever pretend that when it's about cybersecurity or human rights, a multi-stakeholder approach is not necessary. I mean, people now recognize that this is an added value. Yet we need to balance expectation of what an IGF is. I believe that we agree that if a minister, say from developing countries, come to the IGF and want immediate answers to more pressing issues for him at national level, he might not find answers. This is not the place when you need to get when you have these policy solutions in mind. Yet, I have experience, I remember back in 2007, some great experience when some ministers were in the room and we were presenting the value of IXPs, and they were interested to ask questions, and a few years later, Kenya and many other countries in Africa adopted IXP in a multi-stakeholder. So they are a miracle. But the balance is, as Megan just said, from the high criticism on IGF, where it just is a talk shop and nothing concrete get out of it, we come in slow but surely since Istanbul and even a bit before to more concrete outcome. There were the best practices, as you know, the 6 best practices document. There are the dynamic coalitions output, and there are these very detailed policy options that have been adopted based on more than 80 contributions from regional and national IGF. So Article 72 of the UNIS agenda allows for a recommendation. You know that we are in the community very reluctant to recommendation because it might go for a negotiation, which is not how we see the IGF going forward. Yet, we're closing to more concrete and tangible outcomes year by year, so we never know. So, I mentioned WSIS 10. 2015 is critical indeed because this is the moment where UN countries will assess not only the past 10 years but also the future with this agenda for sustainable development. So it's critical in a way that they will have to see what we've done in the past and how we can catch up with the 2030 agenda. What is interesting here is that we're shifting from technical discussion on the internet to more the social impact of the internet. So what is important here is that people, I believe, at governmental level, at national level, realize that it's not only about bridging the digital divide, but it's also about bridging the economic and social disparities. And this is the very important step that we are now witnessing. We, as internet society, believe that an open internet, free and accessible internet are the guarantee for this. But as you can see, there are still countries in the world who are resistant to this and who believe that, as you see, the internet should be remained in their own boundaries, in their own frontiers. So that is the critical issue that will be discussed in a few weeks in New York. So that was the first level of conversation, WSIS plus 10. The second level of conversation are the hot topics. Again, Sabine mentioned cybersecurity. Network neutrality was the one this year with 0 rating. This is a new big thing that has been discussed in Brazil. I remember in Istanbul it was all about mass surveillance. Now it was all about 0 rating. But of course, other very very important issues were being discussed, the usual privacy and the balance between cybersecurity and privacy, the agenda for sustainable development, and security and encryption. And I can come back to that. Thank you.
Thank you.